Election status report on inclusive communication, governance, social cohesion, and responsive communication, particularly on the role of the media in the post-election period and emerging challenges. We all resolved that our Monday press briefing that had earlier on been off should be returned. We have all agreed unanimously to resume this Monday press briefing as it's always conducted within the location in Lira as city areas. And now we are at Lira City Central Police Station to make a brief and meaningful press briefing. I call upon all of you to attend. I'm very willing to deliver to your satisfaction. Let me call upon those online who are watching us on this press briefing that North Kyoga region is generally peaceful and calm with very few isolated cases that disorganizes the entire peace of the region. But what is trending so much in our region is issues relating to murders, particularly murder by mob, murder by assault, and others. So I will dwell more on that, but also have some other incidents that I'm going to share. To start right away, following an intelligence-led operations that was conducted in the areas of Ngeta, Starch Factory, where about 13 suspects were apprehended and charged with being in possession of narcotic drugs, that is marijuana, and aviation fuel, and possession of possession of breaking implements. All these people appeared before court, and 11 of them were remanded to Lira main prisons on the 12th of this month, 2026. The operation was conducted on the 9th of June, that was Heroes Day. And the two who didn't appear, their names are Odu Simon and Ochepa Emmanuel. These ones are said to be juveniles, aged 17 years. But as police, we are yet to take them for a police form 24 on medical examination to confirm their age. The others, Ogwal Dennis, Okonye George, Odongo Sam, Okot Rogers, Atot Joshua, Omara Dennis, Adea Rashid, Otema Ismail, Ario Emmanuel, Opio Hassan, and Ogale Bosco. These are the 11 who were remanded and are still in Lira main prison. 2, we had issues relating to an accident that was fatal in nature. The Territorial Traffic Police in Uyam District have detained a driver identified as Abdikadi Mohammed Ismail, a 45 years old, a Kenyan national, resident of Nakuru in Kenya, who was driving motor vehicle registration number KCQ 991Y/ZG 7468M that was traveling from Lira site heading towards Kamdini, but upon reaching Wirao Trading Center along the highway of Lira Kamdini Road, 2 pedestrians were standing on the walkway. However, suddenly, it's alleged that a 13-year-old child, Katongole Ethan, a pupil of Yesa Twaero Primary School, started running and hit himself on the behind left tire of the vehicle, and this child fell, instantly died. Police was informed. The scene was visited by the traffic officers. Body was picked and conveyed to Abe Hospital at Tapara pending a post-mortem. The motor vehicle currently is parked at Kamdini Police Station pending IOV inspection. Investigation is ongoing to ascertain exactly what happened. However, we appeal to parents. A child of this age needs to be worked with an adult. We have also had high cases of vandalism and theft of road signs along the highway in Uyam via Lira City here to Dokolo, up to Teso area, up to the border. Investigation is ongoing. However, we call upon members of the community to be very responsible. Previously, there was a demonstration of a poor road network in this region. Now that the government have upgraded this road with installed signs to support free movement and avoidance of road accidents. Instead, members of the community have resorted to vandalizing and destroying some of these road signs. This is quite unfortunate. We have registered so far 19 cases from management of motor engine and our team on ground to investigate this. We want to let the community know that Article 17, Clause 1 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda outlined the duty of every Ugandan citizen to respect the national symbols, respect the rights of others, as well as public property. In this regards, we are emphasizing on public property. This signpost, these road signposts that have been installed, it is there to support and protect us from getting accident and understand how you should be moving. But unfortunately, some people are trying to remove this item. So therefore, we want to send a very strong warning, particularly to the scrap dealers, that they should stay warned on these issues relating to the public property. Road signs and railway sleepers that will be found at their facilities, they should know that we have utility court at Buganda Road, which is waiting for them, particularly on such errand individuals who are promoting crime in our areas. But also we would like to appeal to motor engine management that initially we have moved with a team from traffic department that moved from this point in Lira up to Kamdini. We noticed there were misplacement and installation of some of the road signs. You find these warning signs, particularly those, let's talk about the arms. Instead of putting this road sign 30 meters before the road sign, you find the road sign is exactly where the arms are. So we appeal to them to make some of these changes. As if that is not enough, also some places like the corners, the hills, the hospitals, and the trading centers. Those road signs, once they have been misplaced, it will definitely confuse the road users, particularly those using the machines like the motorcycle, the vehicles, and other moving gadgets. Therefore, we appeal to the project and manager of motor engine and the team to equally see that these corrections are made. Since last year, we have made a report to that effect, but they have also not yet made any change. We have received a case of alleged trafficking in persons in Albertine South region, districts of Kiboga and Chankwanzi, where youths were recruited from the district of Uyam, Kole, Dokolo, Lira, and Moro. These youths were transported to those two districts in the month of April, May, and this month, June. Unfortunately, due to poor work condition at the facility where they are providing manual labor at the Chinese forestry company, most of these youths opted to walk back to their different districts. But in the process of their movement, our territorial police from that side happened to come along them, particularly those ones who are doing patrols, and they are able to explain themselves. We want to applaud the team from South Albertine who supported these youths and ferried them all to Yam Central Police Station, where about 67 in numbers of the youth were rescued due to poor work condition of inadequate shelter, water, and food, including little pay. So we are closely investigating these allegations. And among the teams that were involved in the recruitment, the names have been shared with the police. We have Odong Robert, Okwir, Aremo Dennis, Anita Sam, Kumakech Walter, Odong Richard, Obong Dennis, Opio Sam, Obong Jimmy. All these people hail from Alera sub-county in Uyam district. They are the brain behind recruiting these youths to be taken to the Chinese forestry company project, which is in the district of Chiboga and Chankwanzi. We wish again to appeal to the different youths who are outside there that when there is any job opportunity that you feel you can engage yourself in, kindly get in touch with the local leadership for purposes of confirming the working conditions of that particular place. You remember 2 weeks ago, we rescued some youths also from within Lira here and others from Barara, where about 73 youths were rescued from Clement Mall and Lira P7 following their involvement in the so-called work. All these youths were brought at CPS here, where they were talked to, their statements were recorded. They confirmed receiving different phone calls from different friends, particularly those ones who were with them in secondary school, of about job opportunity in organization that calls themselves Canaan Dream Visionary. And they directly deal in food supplements products. So we are equally investigating to find out who are these people behind. But we are told these organizations have a headquarters which is based in Philippines. So we believe that if we can get the local people who are handling us from Uganda, we'll be able to break through. Let's now handle issues relating to murders. We have registered the case of murder by mob in Uyam district. Our territorial police in Uyam district on the 10th of June 2026 responded and rescued 2 suspects, Uchien Stephen and Aneno Monica, from a mob in Abale village, Doga Piro parish in Achaba sub-county, Uyam district. It is alleged that on the 10th of June 2026, some suspected stolen properties were recovered from the house of Ogwal Francis, who is the father to Aneno Monica. Subsequently, the police arrested Ogwal Francis, Omara Adimo Robinson in connection to the recovered stolen properties. A case file of possession of stolen properties was duly entered and investigation was ongoing. However, the locals within the area forcefully apprehended Aneno Monica and Uchien Stephen alias Boy, who were alleged to be stealing people's properties and were in hiding in Abale village. They were beaten seriously before a concerned citizen alerted the police at Uyam Central Police Station. Our team quickly responded and rescued these two, who were immediately rushed to Anyeke Health Center for treatment. However, on a sad note, the following day, 11th June 2026, at around 800 hours, Uchien Stephen alias Boy was pronounced dead due to injuries inflicted on him. The body was conveyed to Anyeke Health Center for mortuary, pending a post-mortem examination. Meanwhile, Aneno Monica is still receiving treatment and his condition is steadily improving. Statement was recorded from the victim who survived, and the scene was visited. Up to now, no arrest has been made. We also had a similar case of murder by mob in Apache district, where currently our territorial police in Apache district are investigating a case of murder by mob which occurred on the 11th of June 2026 on an unidentified male adult. This happened from Ayago Market, Ayago Central Village in Apoi Sub-County, Apache District. It was alleged that a woman yet to be identified who sells bean in the market made an alarm claiming that the deceased grabbed her money worth 150,000 and threw it to another colleague. Immediately, people gathered, arrested him, and assaulted him until he lost consciousness and died. Preliminary findings indicate that the deceased and others normally board vehicles that transport vendors, particularly from Lira City here, and takes them to different markets. Their work is basically to steal from the businessmen and women from these different market vendors different items. A case of murder by mob was registered at Apoi Sub-County Police Station. Scene of crime was visited and by a team of police officers from Apache and documented it by Soko. Relevant witnesses interviewed and statement recorded. The body was where it comes from. Equally, no arrest has been made on the people. In a way, we registered statement, murder by assault in Aleptong district. The territorial police in Aleptong district has in custody Adero Santa, 56 years old, on allegation of the death of Ugwal Mikele, aged 64 years, who was suspected to have been assaulted from her home in Amak village in Baropiro Parish, Umoro Sub-County, Aleptong district. It was alleged that the deceased Ogwal Mikele, aged 64 years old, a resident of the above address, is suspected to have left home at unknown time due to mental illness. And this was on the 11th of June, 2026, where he went to Amak village in Baropiro Parish, and at around 4 a.m., Obonyo Morris Joe, aged 32 years old, believed to be the son to the deceased, received a phone call from the chairperson LC1 of that village that his father was discovered along the roadside and appeared to have been beaten. Obonyo immediately rushed to the scene and confirmed that that was his father, and the father was still alive, however unconscious. While blood oozing from mouth, ears, nostril, and bruises of the physical violence on the cheeks and the back. He was immediately rushed to Alanya Health Center for medical attention. However, on the 12th of June, he succumbed to the injuries that was inflicted to him and died. A case of murder by assault, which was earlier on registered, later was amended to a case of assault that was earlier on registered was amended to murder by assault. at the Umoro Sub-County Police Station. Crime scene was visited by the district CID of Alepton. The body was examined, processed, and documented accordingly. Statements were recorded from relevant witnesses. Body conveyed to Alepton Health Center for mortuary pending a postmortem examination. Adero Santa was apprehended and detained to support investigation because he also confirmed that the deceased was disturbing them at night. Hence, her arrest now is to support investigations. Probably she knows what exactly happened to the deceased. We also registered another case of murder and malicious damage to property in Ikole, a district. Our territorial police in Ikole are investigating a case of murder and malicious damage to property which was registered at Ikole Central Police Station following an incident that occurred on the 13th of June 2026 between 16 and 1900 hours in Akalo Town Council, Ikole district. The deceased have been identified as a Chom Ivan, age 22 years old, a peasant, and a resident of the above addressed. And another Mary Oming, a 50-year-old female and alleged traditional healer, and a resident of Dibadi Cell, Western White B, Akalo Town Council in Ikole district. Preliminary findings indicate that approximately 2 weeks ago, 2 cows belonging to Ayo Mary were reportedly stolen from her home. Instead of her reporting the matter to the relevant authorities, she allegedly sought the services of a traditional healer named Mary Oming Butaleja to establish whereabouts of the stolen animals. On the 13th of June 2026, Mary Oming reportedly visited Ayo Mary's home and commenced traditional rituals. During the process, behaviors including eating grass. Shortly thereafter, Akom Ivan collapsed and died. Upon learning of his death, the relatives and members of the community turned violent and accused the traditional healer of causing the death of their son. Mary Oming reportedly fled and sought refuge in a grass-thatched house, which was subsequently set on fire by the angry mob. She later forced herself out due to the flames and was allegedly assaulted by the angry mob, resulting in her death. A motorcycle registration number UFH 274E, which had transported her to the scene, was equally set ablaze during the incident. A team from North Kyoga region, led by the regional CID officer, regional SOCO, together with some detectives from Ikole district, visited the scene and documented it. The 2 bodies of the deceased were conveyed to Lira Regional Referral Hospital mortuary pending a postmortem examination. Relevant information and exhibits were recovered to aid ongoing investigation. Preliminary findings revealed that the traditional healer had been invited by Ayo Mary, the owner of the allegedly stolen cows. The body of Mary Oming was found lying between the 2 burned grass-thatched houses with visible head injuries and burnt wounds, while the body of a Chom Ivan was found in Ayo Mary's compound with no visible external injuries. It was further established that relatives of both parties had fled the area following the incident. Actually, as we speak now, nobody is in that village. The 2 grass thatch houses and the properties inside were destroyed by the fire. Efforts to identify and apprehend the suspects involved in the mob action and destruction of the property are ongoing. We appeal to the local leaders in the area to support this process to avoid a repeat of the same. Generally, I would like to confirm to you that last week alone, we have been able to register 6 different murder cases, particularly murder by mob and assault, where we lost 6 people. No, we registered 6 and lost 7 people. This is quite unfortunate. It reflects high level of cases in our region. And this kind of incidences is common due to the following findings that we've done as police. 1, there is too much issues relating to blood compensation in this region. This makes the work of the police and the judicial official very, very difficult, since most of the relatives of the deceased are the ones who sometimes walk themselves to the resident chief state attorney or even court, pleading for the release of the perpetrators. This gives room for many other people who are outside there to continue with such kind of behaviors, because at the end of the day, they know the relatives will pay for the blood compensation. 2, domestic violence and misunderstanding. Most men are lazy. If you move in the villages now, you realize that since morning, you find others have started drinking this local warege very early, leaving women almost the breadwinners at home. Meanwhile, even some of the ladies are equally so cantankerous. They end up beating up their husbands due to lack of respect and other things. It is a two-way kind of situation. 3, we have many cases of school dropout in this region, yet we have so many government schools on universal primary education and universal secondary education program. Our parents are not utilizing the presence of these governments. That comes to a quarrel, it quarrels into a fight, and you find one person picks whatever kind of dangerous weapon, lands or hits it with another. It's equally leading us to issues of murder. We have issues relating to disagreement at drinking joint due to small misunderstanding, like maybe rivaling for a woman, issues of money. You've had people being killed due to 2,000 or 100 shillings even. This brings issues of quarreling, fights that later turns into death. We also have issues relating to compromise by some clan leaders. This is in line to handling cases relating to the widows who have lost their husband. Issues relating to the properties of their late husband becomes an issue. And sometimes these clan leaders tends to compromise or leans against the other side with intention that leads to removal of the properties belonging to their late husband. And sometimes some of these lady women are killed in the process. As police, we have continued to do sensitization on crime prevention and community policing program on the dangers of taking laws into your hands. Traditionally, if people are not aware, this brings curses to families, to clans, and even tribe as a whole. Then we share with the community about the dangers of taking law to their hands, as others being imprisonment. This makes you leave behind the children unattended to, at home because you will be in prison. We have issues that brings a hatred between families and the clans. In our community policing and crime prevention program, we share with them about the dangers. But above all, we have also shared with them about what the law says. Article 22 of the Constitution of Uganda talks about protection of right to life. Nobody has powers to remove the life of another. 2, avoidance of polygamous life. Gone are the days when children and women were looked at as a prestige or pride or self-defense of a family or something like that. The century we are in, civil society organization, the media must speak up about these continued cases of murders within the community. For example, our religious leaders should make emphasis so much on our spiritual living. In the Bible, God left Moses with 10 commandments. These commandments should be emphasized to our locals. For the Christians, I don't know the Muslims what they believe in terms of the laws of the Quran. So these are very key and it changes the life of a human being. Our clan leaders must work with transparency without leaning to one side. They should do things in an honest way, in other words. Another thing is we appeal to the parents. The parents outside there must utilize the presence of the government schools on UPE and USE program. Of late, we also have the Presidential Skilling Hub, where children on completion of their course are given startup capital. You are all aware that the president has put 50 million shillings in all the places where there is this skilling hub. And this money is basically to support these youths once they are finished with their courses. For example, if it is building, construction and building, there are a few of those gadgets which is less than 200 or 300,000. This circle money will be used to support them. Others can buy the sewing machine and they start buying up at least a roll of a cloth. You get into a trading center and you start working. Unfortunately, we have interviewed some of these children. There are others who are unwilling to go into those places. They claim they were forced by their parents or by leaders. Now you can imagine the kind of children that we have. Why can this lead them to criminal mind? So it is something which is very, very serious, and willingness by the children themselves due to lack of respect and poor upbringing by their parents can cause this. There are those ones who will tell you, for me, I think I have no future. They can be used to go and kill someone, having been given maybe 50,000 shillings. They go and kill you. We have had several scenarios in town here where people are hired to kill someone. It is because these are people who don't have what to do. So if the government is coming up with these good programs or good projects, and they're again saying they're being forced, it beats our understanding seriously. Therefore, leaders at all sectors, be it local, at the district level, and at the national level, must all speak out and condemn strongly such barbaric behaviors which has become a common norm in the society of people taking laws into their hands. This is quite unfortunate. We also would like to encourage our people outside there on alternative dispute resolution. This is equally very key in conflict resolution. Part of this has been identified as challenges relating to conflict. I thank you very, very much. These are the few issues that I have prepared for you all. I call for any questions where you could not have understood or picked me clearly, or even something which I could not have brought, but if I have the response, I will give you there and then. I thank you for listening.
Funny, I want something. Why do you think mob justice is very rampant in this region?
Atson, I've given you the reasons why the mob justice is rampant. However, additionally, yeah, mob justice leads to murder, not so. It leads to murder, yes.
No, I understand, but
that is the actual cost.
A mob, and this is particularly happening.
One,
the suspects, what?
Yes, we should not forget that the community members, in their mind, believed, okay, because we have seen in most cases, cases are reported to the police, suspects are apprehended, and sometimes due to lack of support from the local leadership or the complainants themselves, some of these suspects are released on either police bond or a court bail. And this brings a misunderstanding. Some people think now when they take suspects to police, they are released. Or when they're taken to court, they're equally released. Not forgetting these are constitutional rights of these people. However, our biggest challenge is on the community. Because for us to have a successful investigation, there must be somebody who supports police with investigation. And this is none other than the people who come from the community. At the time of crime being committed, a police officer may not be there, but thorough information sharing and giving of evidence, even others going to the level of testifying before court, this makes it very easy for court to make. So in the wisdom of thinking of a local person outside the things, a person who is taken to police may be released on bond. And due to hunger and annoyance, because somebody has worked for 5 years and more, for you to come and sell his cows, which he has worked with for all these years, but within 5 minutes, you've taken away his or her thing. Chicken, goats, it hurts. And that is why sometimes we send also a strong message to the criminals themselves. They should also understand that the community are equally tired of their committal. Because at the end of the day, people can lose their tempers. But here we are standing strong and saying, no, it is not the rightful way. Because even the Constitution is very clear. I've just shared with Article 22 talks about protection of right to life. There that one which is on inhumane treatment. And others, there are very many. So, Ms. Hudson, that could be one of the reasons as to why people tend to take law into their hand, but not forgetting their roles which they have. That's why if you went to Article 17 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, it gives us very clearly on how members of the community or citizens of this country are supposed to support security or police when it comes to investigation. It is very clear. The same way Article 212 talks about police working with the local leadership. Article 17 also allows the community to work with the police. So we do not work in isolation. I thank you.
Well, how easy is it to prosecute such cases of mob action?
I beg your pardon?
How easy is it to handle cases of mob action, especially getting suspects?
It is easy as long as our local leadership have understood that we need to work together. Because on most cases, like all these cases I've shared with you, you realize that very few arrests have been made. You get the point. So our local leadership are very pertinent in handling some of these cases. The moment they support the area police team with information that can lead to the arrest of those people, it is very key. Also, there may be gap in our own system in terms of response from our CIDs. When I was growing, if a crime has been committed in an area, such an area is rounded, everybody is picked. Then you start screening one by one. And this is part of the thing that we should also be using as us in the police. So that could be also a small ago.
A case where some days ago, an assistant RCC is accused of torturing some people. This is a case which originated from Ayago. Somebody called some 3 boys to help him chasing some boys who had stolen his goats, 3 goats. This person started chasing the thieves. The thieves came and had an accident, I think around here. After that, immediately these people arrived. Those who were chasing the thieves arrived there. They were trying to apprehend these people. The assistant RCC arrived, started caning these people seriously, beating them seriously. And even one, I think, is in a very, very critical condition, referred up to Mulago. But when the matter, even the goats were brought here, and police shared the goat among themselves. They didn't execute it. The case was brought here.
Police shared the goats.
Yes. The case was brought here to be reported. They refused to handle. You go to the DPC. The DPC said, that man is too big for me. I can't handle. The people went to the region. The region ordered the DPC to register the case. And I think the case was registered. And now what is happening, even the police who are recording statement are saying, the complainants are mentioning the name of the assistant RCC, but in the statement they are writing, they were assaulted by unknown men.
Now, that was the point I was coming to. Unfortunately, I've not got my share of the goats. So if it is on the way, I hope mine will come. But to be specific, you've also mentioned that the assistant RCC is the position which is of the office. If only you could share with me, because like in Lagos City here, we have so many assistant RCCs. I don't know which specific one you are referring to. That will give me room to find out whether from CPS here or Lagos City East or West Division. I'll have to find out from the area commanders, and I get back to you. I commit to finding the facts about that.
Adding on
Which station? Here, Central, or Juna?
They say here. Instead of bringing these people who are assaulted here.
Olang, that is Lagos City West.
That is it.
Isn't it?
He came and intervened in a case which is not in this area. So he took these people, I think, again to Reda. Something like that. He took the suspects to Reda again. He turned these people who were chasing the thieves into suspects and took them to Reda.
It's okay.
He was even ordering his escort to shoot these people.
It's okay. Let me find out and follow and get back to you.
I will appreciate it.
Thank you.
There is also another one from Malata. Thief from Kole was arrested for stealing a motorcycle in Malata district. And the man was arrested. But how far was the case?
That particular one I may not be able to respond to, but in Amolata, we have had series of cases relating to theft of motorcycles. And I can confirm to you that we have equally had series of intelligence-led operations that has been very fruitful and has led us to recoveries of so many motorcycles. At least that one I've equally been sharing with you. So I need to follow up with that very specific one that you've mentioned, so that I get back to you.
This man, I think you better get for us that information. This is a very, very notorious.
But I remember making some press statement in line to the operations that we have conducted in Amolata. When did this issue happen?
It's called Eguea Solomon.
Where?
This suspect is called Eguea Solomon. It's a very notorious, a long time, the caliber of the
But I think I made a statement regarding the arrest of this man.
This man was at one
Because
time
this was out of
arrested
the
in
operation
Moroto.
that we have conducted after the case of the theft of motorcycle that came in, the operation, and they said it's one of
Because
the
this
most
one was
notorious.
arrested- was
Very,
arrested last
very.
week.
Uh,
Was
And
arrested
you may find he has a sister.
unless I am thinking that I made a statement, maybe I did not.
You did
I will
not.
cross check
You did not
and
follow.
share with you on the forum. Thank you.
This man has a sister, and if you people are not careful, you may find the officers handling the case have been bribed. And the man
Have a
is
what?
released. Have a sister who's always following him. When he's arrested, he follows. The man had a case of murder in Moroto. He's one of those who escaped
Prison
from prison that time. When he came here, it took time
is
to
not
arrest him.
that is a
He
very
was
serious
arrested,
matter.
taken back to Moroto on that murder. The sister followed him. The man was.
And
Let me forward a media after here. Yes.
We have got report that one teacher from Sagres was arrested for sleeping